Hi everyone, welcome to PBTE 5033, the teacher and the community, school culture, and organizational leadership. So for today, we are going to discuss the second module of the course, and the topic that has been assigned to us is sociology and education. So for this topic, these are our intended learning outcomes. First up, let's talk about the definitions of sociology cited by different sociologists. The first one that we have here is Auguste Comte. Auguste Comte was the first to develop the concept of sociology. He defined sociology as a positive science. Positivism, according to him, is the search for invariant laws of the natural and social world. Comte identified three basic methods for discovering these invariant laws. They are observation, experimentation, and comparison. He wanted to understand the human drama that was unfolding during his time, especially during the French Revolution. He wanted to be equipped with knowledge about how society operates. Comte came to describe his work as sociology. The next person that we have here is one of the most prominent figures when it comes to defining sociology. We have Emil Durkheim. According to him, society can survive only if there exists among its members a sufficient degree of homogeneity. Also, he explained that education perpetuates and reinforces this homogeneity by fixing in the mind of the child from the very beginning the essential similarities that social life demands. Lastly, we have Henry Fairchild. Henry Fairchild was a sociologist who was actively involved in many of the controversial issues of his time. He wrote about race relations, abortion and contraception, and immigration. He was involved with the founding of Planned Parenthood and served as president to the American Eugenics Society. Now let's move on to the uses of sociology in line with education. Sociology throws more light on the nature of men because it tells us why man lives in groups, communities, and societies. It examines the relationship between individual and society and the impact of society on man and other matters. We also have sociology, which actually studies society in a scientific way. So, this scientific knowledge about human society is needed in order to achieve progress, especially in education. And lastly, one of the uses of sociology in line with education is that it improves our understanding of society and increases the power of social action. The science of society assists an individual to better understand himself, his capacities, talents, and his limitations. It actually enables him to adjust himself to the school environment, for example. So knowledge of society, social groups, social institutions, associations, their functions, etc., helps us to lead an effective social life. Another aspect of the practical side of sociology is the study of great social institutions and the relations of individuals of each one of them. The home and the family and the school and the education, it can be said that the question of value of sociology and education is not a question whether or not we should study a subject, but it is a simple question of how it is actually to be used. Sociology, in short, has both individual and social advantages in education. At this point, let's talk about the sociology of education. The sociology of education is the study of how public institutions and individual experiences affect education and its outcomes. It is mostly concerned with the public schooling systems of modern industrial societies, including the expansion of higher, further, adult, and continuing education. We also have what we call the educational sociology. So this term is the study of the social factors that influence and are influenced by all educational structures and processes, both within and between societies. The educational system of a society will bear resemblance to the nature of society, although this does not imply that society cannot be changed through education. Both society and education influence each other, and educational sociology makes a study of this interaction. So here are the definitions of educational sociology cited by prominent figures such as Brown, Carter, and Ottaway. The educational system of a society will bear resemblance to the nature of society itself. Although this does not imply that society cannot be changed through education. Both society and education influence each other, and educational sociology makes a study of this interaction. At this point, let's talk about the influence of sociology in education. The meaning of education. According to educational sociologists, education is a social process which socializes the child and causes certain changes in his behavior. In this way, even in defining education, the sociologist highlights its social aspects. Let's now have the objectives of education. Accordingly, the objectives or aim of education is to evolve those social qualities and a social feeling in the child, which will enable him to understand his responsibility to society and nation and to become the ideal citizens of this country and train him to fulfill his duties. The functions of education. The educational sociologists have stressed the social functions of education. In some articles, it lays down the following four functions of education, which are the spread of knowledge, social control, protection of the social heritage, and the social development. Lastly, the organization of curriculum. Educational sociologists suggest that the curriculum of education should be based mainly on social ideals and values. The curriculum should be revised from time to time according to the needs of the society. Education is actually a subsystem of the society with its primary function of transmission of culture and formation of social personalities. The relationship of education and society plays a big role for modernization. At this point, let's talk about a debatable issue on which should exist. Is it the educational system in response to the needs of society, or the kind of society to where the educational system can be formed? The government implemented a reform of their educational system from 10-year pre-university cycle into a K to 12 program based on the needs of the society. I know you guys are very familiar with K to 12 because this has been one of the major changes in the Philippine education system. It is actually believed that K to 12 educational system is the response or a solution for social issues such as unemployment rate and lack of skills of each Filipino worker or job seeker. On the other hand, let's take the Japanese society as an example. Why the kind of society is the one should exist to where the educational system can be formed. Their tradition and or culture is that they are known for their intelligence, politeness, and wellness. Japan has a norm where they believe about manners over knowledge. In Japanese schools, there are no janitors. Students are responsible for cleanliness in their school to practice teamwork and discipline. Also, students don't take major exams until they reach grade 4 or the age of 9 or 10 to establish good manners and to develop their character. Whichever side must exist, the educational system is the one should exist in response to the needs of the society for third world countries, just like us. It is because society can rapidly change for improvement and so the group of social behavior. That is all for the topic about sociology and education.
So hi everyone, my name is Jelly, and today's topic that we're going to discuss to all of you is all about the types of social institutions and their roles in the Philippines. What is social institution? Why is it important in the society? A socialization is a vital skill that every educational profession needs. Teachers are expected to know the responsibility to this respective institution for them to be able to become an active member of the society. According to Jonathan Turner, as cited by Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, social institution is a complex of possession, roles, norms, and values. Social institution is a group of social possessions connected by social relation to perform a social role. Social institutions also act as an agency of coordination and stability for the total culture and prescribe acceptable social behavior for the individual. There are 5 social institutions that can be found among human groups: family, religion, economics, education, and state. Family. Family is the smallest social institution. It is where a child begins to learn the basic survival skills such as how to use certain objects, how to read books, how to write, how to wear clothes, how to use eating utensils, and many more. It is also where an individual develops yung values and behavior and ways of life through interaction with other members of the family. Dahil dun sa idea na yun, teachers should understand the responsibility in the family as they also experience the same process ba. So, if a teacher, for example, is an older member of the family or a parent, he must be aware that he is also the source of knowledge of the younger member of the family. So, teachers should observe and adapt with this kind of learning experience at home in order to understand the students' growth at saka intellectual capacity ng isang bata. Family as a social institution that firstly gives knowledge can be one of the teacher's basis kung paano niya matutulungan pa yung isang estudyante na mas mapalawak, mas ma-improve yung present knowledge na meron sila. So, yung role ng teacher sa bahay nila at saka yung understanding niya in every student home setting can greatly help them improve his role as a socially aware teacher of the society.
Thank you, Ma'am Jelly. In our report, I will be discussing to you the economics and religion. Economics. According to Barnes, the term economy refers to the established procedure to conduct the activities related to the production, distribution, consumption of goods and services. It's a vital to society to arrange and maintain the provision of food and essential needs to its members. The economic institution is responsible for collecting and studying economic data and use this data in the policy making and in providing economy-related services to the society's constituents. Functions of economic institution. First is the employment, second is the provision of funds. Employment, which create jobs, opportunities for people through which they can generate income and earn their livelihood. That's how people in the society satisfy their basic needs. Many businesses are developed under the economic institution. Provision of funds provides economic assistance to other institutions as well. It provides funds to government in the shape of taxes and the family in the shape of salaries. Religion refers to set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe as well as the meaning man's existence. It is characterized in which case by unique of elements, beliefs, practices, rituals, and organizations. Functions of religion in society. Religion promotes solidarity and social cohesion through doctrines and dogma that help man find meaning and purpose in their lives and their relationship with an ultimate being beyond their earthly existence. Religious rituals related to births, deaths, marriages, calamities, or disasters help men cope with the realities of their existence. Religion could also promote social change through the exercise of beliefs. Religion also gives men comfort, strength, and hope in times of crisis and despair. Church, temple, mosque, or monasteries have large memberships, follow well-established rituals, and accepted by society even if not practiced. Denomination is a religious organization whose congregations are united in their adherence to its beliefs and practices, a religion that maintains a friendly relation with the government and other religions. It does not claim to be the nation's only legitimate religion. Secta, this organization rejects some of the accepted dogma or doctrines of a mother church and maybe a breakaway group of believers from its original membership. It has little bureaucratic organization and is usually a subgroup of a bigger religious organization. Lastly is the cults, often reject the greater society and have little to do with tradition religion. Cults usually develop around a charismatic leader. Some of these are short-lived.
Education. Educational institutions cater to the educational needs of its constituents. They provide a large variety of learning environment and learning spaces. These institutions are responsible for the transmission of knowledge, cultural values, and skills within formally organized structure. The education is one of the most important social institutions. Youngsters and adolescents spend most of their weekly working hours in school doing homework or participating in extracurricular activities. This education institution is the society teaches its members skills, the knowledge, the norms, the values they need to learn to become a good, productive members of their society. Government and state. The political institution is responsible for creating, enforcing, and applying laws. The immediate conflict made the policy and represent the population. This institution interested the making of enforcing the rules of society as well as regulating and relation with other societies. There are the three branches of the government. We have executive, legislative, and judicial. Executive consists of the president and a vice president who are elected by the people, his or her advisor in a different department of agencies. The legislative branch is made up of the House, the Senate, known as the Congress, and the judicial is the branch responsible for interpreting the meaning of laws and implementing these as they deem necessary.
Social institutions play a vital role in the society. It directs the development of the society and helps in maintaining social order within it. This social institution improve the quality of life of the people and help in building a progressive and orderly society. We may not directly notice or identify the influence of each institution in our lives, but we can feel their effect in our everyday lives even from the moment we step out of the house at the beginning of the day. The policeman that keeps the flow of the traffic, the teacher that educates the students, the government offices that we make transaction with, and all many more of this as we continue living from day to day.